Well, in studio, we do have the PS of Agriculture, Dr. Ronoh, who is going to tell us about a major conference that the nation is going to hold next week in conjunction with the AU. The conference is the second Africa Fertilizer and Soil Health Summit from May 7th to the 9th. Thank you so much, Dr. for joining us. When I shared earlier on that we are going to have this conference, the first thing that people were asking, what is soil health and why is it so important?
Okay, thank you, Nyamai, and thank you for this invitation. I think it is important to really shed some light on this big conference which Kenya is privileged to host from 7 to 9, which is to do it the African Fertilizer and Soil Health Conference. It is the second held so far by the African Union Commission, and this time around we are privileged as a country to host this very big, important conference.
Yes, I hear 9 heads of state have already come.
Yes. It is,
so it's major.
It is major, yeah. And actually it has attracted a number of participants across Africa and also outside Africa. As we talk now, Cynthia, we have over 9 head of states who have confirmed the attendance, and close to 26 ministers in agriculture and foreign affairs. We have also confirmed the attendance, and close to 2,000 delegates have registered for the big conference on soil health.
Yes.
Yes.
So clearly it means soil health is quite important. What is soil health, and why should Kenya even be interested in soil health?
All right. First of all, you know, soil health is a serious scientific and technical topic. And when you go into detail about it, how important it is, you know, soil is a living ecosystem, which really provide the various nutrients for our crops, and also it also provides an ecosystem for animals and also plants. So it's a very important natural commodity, which as the world and as also human beings, in terms of looking at how this particular very important ecosystem has been degenerating or regenerating over time to ensure that it provides the necessary nutrients. I think it has been found so necessary and so important for this the ecosystem to be taken care of, like a human being. So, like the theme of the discussion for this conference is listening to the land, because land is seen as a healthy natural resource which provides the critical needs for our existence as human beings, animals, and also plants.
Yes, I like that theme, listening to the land.
Listening to the land.
And how have we been listening to the land? If you look at from the time when we had the Abuja Declaration, where would you rate Africa? Have we truly taken seriously or listened to the land and taken seriously the Abuja Declaration?
When you look at the Abuja Declaration, which was held in 2006. The declaration came up with a number of initiatives which the African continent was supposed to undertake to ensure that we address the whole issue of food security. And one of it was to ensure that apart from really ensuring that we exercise best agricultural practices, one of it was to ensure that we increase the use of fertilizers from 8 kilograms per hectare to 50 kilograms by hectare. Over time, when you look at our practice in Africa, maybe specifically in Kenya, Kenya has managed to achieve, because as we talk now, we are talking about utilization of close to 125 kilogram of fertilizers per hectare, which is quite ahead when you look at even the Abuja Declaration of 50. But you know, we are different in terms of our economic power in Africa.
Yes.
And some African countries have not really reached that level. And this conference is also to do an audit and see how far are we and what are the challenges facing the continent of Africa in meeting that objective.
Yes. So is there going to be a discussion where we will have also the Nairobi Declaration?
So I will try to take you through the program. It is a 3-day program, very intensive and so critical for Kenya.
Yes.
Because, you know, Kenya, over the last 2 years, we've been hosting a number of conferences.
Yes.
For just to do with Africa.
Yes.
So we have provided lead, and I think this is one of the that opportunity that Kenya has been given an opportunity to really provide leadership and a declaration for the second conference. During the 3-day conference, we are looking at the first day, which is on 7th. The conference will be opened by His Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Musalia Mudavadi, and then with also the chair of African Union Commission, and the ministers and the Kenyan ministers will be there. It will be high-level delegation, but on that day is really to discuss about the technical nature of the soil. So there will be a lot of experts discussing about soil health, and then there will be also showcase by different African countries on how best are we doing and how can we do better.
Yes.
That is the first day. And then the second day, there will be ministerial discussion by various ministers, and also issuing of ministerial statement, which will really be wrapped up by a draft ministerial statement by the African ministers who are in charge of agriculture.
Yes.
And the third day will be a big day, which are now the head of state, our head of state, His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, will now be leading a big delegation, which after the discussion, there will be now the 4 declaration. One, there will be the Nairobi Declaration, which is really to discuss, to put an ice all the resolutions for the way forward for the continent of Africa. And there will be also another unveiling of African fertilizer financing model, which also will be unveiled. And then the third item is the action plan, a 10-year action plan for the continent of Africa on the implementation of the agreed intervention on soil health. And the fourth one, there will be a soil fertilizer initiative policy document, which will also be unveiled. So all those 4 documents on the 4th day, which will be the closing day, will be unveiled, and the Nairobi Declaration will take the day.
Yes, yes. And what agreements would you like to see? It seems like it's going to be a very busy day. You've highlighted 4 areas of priority. But what agreements, because we're going to have so many heads of states and ministers for agriculture, what agreements would you like to eventually see after the 3 days?
All right, apart from the discussion on matters to do with soil health, and the issues to do with fertilizer, an environment for engagement, for networking, and also for really making major decisions by various African countries who want to meet and discuss other MOUs for further engagement, not only on soil and fertilizer issues, but also beyond, because it is a business. It will end up to be a business forum where policymakers will be meeting. We have the private sector coming in. We have the farmers coming in. We have the expert also coming in, and also other stakeholders. So this, the whole team will be given opportunities to really interact, and there will be side meetings on business engagement, and within those side meetings where MOUs are ready, they can engage and sign their MOUs.
Yes. It took a very long time to finally have the second conference. What are some of the challenges that you have seen that eventually, since actually, I think the last one was, I think, 2006, from 2006 until now, what have been the challenges that we couldn't have another meeting quickly after that, another conference?
All right, the challenges may not be very clear. It is true, it is 17 years down the line,
Yes.
and you are looking at it. What we noted could be the biggest challenge is that in the Abuja Declaration, there was no clear action plan.
Yes.
And that is why in this Nairobi Declaration and this summit, there is an action plan, a 10-year action plan. And we are saying within this 10-year action plan, we can now have a division on the time of reporting. Maybe we have meetings after every three years to see the status of the implementation of the initiative and plans which are in the action plan.
Yes.
That one will assist the African continent to meet more frequent because there's a plan. But the other one, there was no plan on how to really move forward and how to be meeting. So we see this one as a different approach, and we expect to have a different now way of interaction and meeting as African continent. And we believe that with this action plan, it will also give a space and an environment for really pushing one another to make sure that we achieve on the plans and intervention in the action plan.
Yes. Was financing, you mentioned that there will be that discussion, the mechanism to finance. Was financing also one of the challenges, and what will be now the way forward?
It's true, because when you look at matters to do with agriculture, especially food security, the whole ecosystem, the bigger component is on funding. And as African countries, normally there is that big challenge on funding. And on the Abuja Declaration, the financing component was discussed, but they agree that there is need to have a financial model. And that is why over the last 17 years, it has been long anyway, this time around we have that model to be launched during this conference, this summit. So yes, it's a fact. Now we are on it. And the design financial model, we believe that it will be able to deliver on the various activities which will be highlighted in the action plan.
Yes, I'm looking forward to reading the Nairobi Declaration. To my last question, which actually came from one of our viewers, and I suspect it's a youth. The youth like asking this question. What is your ministry doing to encourage more and more young people into agriculture? Are we even going to see them play a role in this upcoming conference?
Yes, okay. African first, when you look at the average age of our farmers is 60 years. It tells you that the youth population is not fully engaged. Even Kenya included in one way or another. But when you look at the many initiatives which African has declared, there was one which was in Morocco last week. They are looking at means and ways of engaging the youth. One of it is to bring in the whole issue of mechanization, so that we make agriculture a little bit simple in terms of manual work, and the mechanization is coming in. The other one is the issue of technology, which it is now coming in agriculture. You know, over time, I think this aspect of technology has not been really addressed very well, so that the youth population which are pro-agriculture are given that chance. There are also a lot of discussion on how we can engage youth in terms of capacity building, awareness creation, so that at a very early stage they appreciate farming as a business engagement, and also one of those activities you can engage for your livelihood. And we have discussed this a lot. And when you look at Kenya, we have now a youth and Agricultural Finance Corporation, and there's a lot of programs on funding for the youth. The only catch which has been a challenge, and we have restructured it, is the collateral model, what you call the security for funding. And now we have remodel our programs so that they are youth attractive. I know a lot of it will be to do with awareness training and also enabling environment for our youth so that they can be engaged in agriculture.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. for joining us today, and KBC is very proud to be part of the summit. Well, I was talking to the PS for Agriculture, Dr. Ronoh, telling us a little bit about soil health and the conference that will be held next week in conjunction with the AU. And I hope, John Musembi, your question has been answered on how the youth can also take part. We will be taking a short break, but when we come back, more business stories for you.